A slime in a world of monarchs, Tensura X solo leveling by Void King. Association training facility. How do you want to start? Kanae asked, stretching her body. It won't be anything too complicated. Rimuru finished stretching. The training consists of you catching me. Will that really make me stronger? Kanae took off her jacket and was left with a white training shirt. You will believe me. Since your strength is based on speed, it will be very good for you, assured by Rimuru. Let's begin. Kanae knew Rimuru was very fast and she wasn't going to underestimate him, so she used all her speed from the start. For a whole 2 hours Kanae tried to catch Rimuru, but every time she was going to do it he appeared on another side of the room. It was as if he was teleporting. Damn, Kanae sat on the ground trying to catch her breath. I can't believe I can't even follow your movements. Don't get frustrated, I'm sure you'll be able to do it soon. He took his katana and slashed at his shadow and Kanae's. Why was that? The girl asked, not understanding Rimuru's action. I felt something in the shadows, he answered, putting away the katana. We'll take a break and then we'll continue. Okay. What's next? I am going to attack you and you will try to block me. That will help improve your reflexes. The training continued until sunset. They performed various methods to improve Kanae's speed in all aspects. The Japanese needed 2 days of Rimuru's training to gain a skill. Like light, it consisted of increasing Kanae's speed by 100% for a limited period of time. The more I increase my speed, the longer the effect of this skill will last, right? Kanae ran back and forth trying to catch up with Rimuru. Exactly, and apparently your limit right now is 5 minutes, he said as he noticed Kanae slowing down. It seems so. Still, by using the skill I managed to follow your movements but not reach you. She stopped the chase and looked at Rimuru. How fast and strong are you? I can't say exactly, but I'm pretty strong. He smiled and handed the katanas to Kanae. Let's rest until you can use your ability again. You will try to block my attacks while it is active. The difference was very noticeable. Now Kanae was not only able to follow Rimuru's attacks, but she was also able to block some of them. She was definitely improving. The remaining days were more intense and with more variety of exercises. Rimuru wanted to increase Kanae's strength as much as possible before the Jeju Island raid began. You did it, Rimuru said, his arms being held by Kanae's hands. With this, we end our week of training. It had never cost me so much to achieve something, Kanae said, letting go of Rimuru. I will fulfill what was agreed. After tomorrow's incursion I will be part of your guild. I'm glad to hear that. I still don't have a name in mind for the guild and the office isn't ready. He extended his hand. But I welcome you. Kanae Tawada shook hands with Rimuru. She was the first member recruited. Raid day. The next day everything was ready to recover Jeju Island. The hunters from Japan would go in a different helicopter than the Koreans who, with the exception of Rimuru, Go, Gun-hee, and Sung Jin-woo, all S ranks would participate. Do you think we're really ready? Song Yi asked before boarding the helicopter. I'm sure. This is an important test for you. Rimuru answered with confidence, looking at his 3 apprentices. You guys shouldn't feel nervous, you just have to be attentive and not trust yourself. I will be vigilant at all times and I will make sure to resist all the damage with my shield, Jin-ho assured. I'm going to demonstrate the results of my training, Park Hee-jin said. I promise we will come back victorious. Song Yi got down from the helicopter and hugged Rimuru. I'll make you proud of me. Song Yi got into the helicopter again and they started to walk away. 2 important events were about to happen, something that would change Korea completely. N. The Japanese hunter outfit is the one Kanae wears on the cover of the chapter, without the cap. _ The hunters from Japan were divided into teams and spread out across the island. At Goto Ryuji's command, they released their energy to lure the ants out of the nest. A ship near the island began to emit a wave that blocked the connection between the ants and the queen. Everything was going according to plan. Choi Jong-in used his powerful fire to open the path in the lair and blocked the entrance with a web of flame. According to calculations, the Japanese hunters would keep the ants busy for an hour. They were to eliminate the royal guards and the queen at that time. It's time to eliminate ants and recover the island, Baek Yoon-ho said, and entered the tunnel that led to the queen's room. Along the way, they ran into some second-generation ants and easily eliminated them. Song Yi along with Cha Hae-in were the ones who killed the most. Song Yi wanted to make sure her master would see how she fought, and she wasn't going to miss out on the opportunity since the raid was being broadcast live. For her part, Park Hee-jin was killing ants with her magic. She was climbing with her ability to launch the most powerful attack on the queen. Jin Ho was in charge of keeping the magician safe since they could not fight at close range. Song Yi, be careful. Those are third-generation ants, Park Hee warned. She feared for the safety of her partner, who threw herself at all the ants without thinking. Second or third generation, I can beat any of them, was Song Yi's reply. It had been 20 minutes since they entered the burrow. They would soon reach the queen. For their part, the Japanese hunters killed ants without much problem. If everything continued at this rate, it would not take long to complete the raid. Kanae moved around the island very easily. The increased speed and strength she gained were noticeable too. She was even faster than Cha Hae-in. Less than it was definitely a good idea to agree to join Rimuru's guild, greater than the dark-haired woman thought. I still don't understand why he refused to participate in the raid. Maybe he tries to keep a low profile. After killing the ants in that area, she tried to contact the Charlie team, but no one answered. What is happening? Returning with the hunters from Korea. They managed to get to the place where the eggs were stored, but the quantity was surprising. But what made everyone feel chill was seeing one that was very big and had already been born. Something big was loose on the island. Let's hurry up, half the time has passed, Cha Hae-in said. Just a few minutes later they found the queen and her guards. They were 8 ants that were equivalent to an S-rank hunter each. Let's finish this, Min Byung-gyu said, and threw improvements to all his companions. With Byung's upgrade, Song Yi killed 2 ants at once. Beck did the same with 2 others, and the rest were slaughtered by Cha Hae. Less than she is superior to me, greater than Song Yi thought, looking at the blonde girl. Other weaker ants came closer to defend their helpless queen, but they got nothing more than being crushed by Ma Dong-guk. You can do it, I'll cover you, Jin Ho said. Park Hee-jin and Choi Jong-in nodded at his words. Using their flames they burned the queen of the ants. Kree-gh. The queen let out a loud cry. Is it dying? Jin Ho asked. No, she is calling. Beck remembered the large egg they had seen a few minutes ago. Do not tell me that. The hunter was interrupted by the arrival of a very powerful ant. They couldn't even move due to the horrible and incredible amount of energy that monster gave off. The ant walked between them until it reached the queen, who had already died. Cha Hae did not have time to react and received a strong blow that made her crash into one of the walls of the place. She fell unconscious and in critical condition. The strongest hunter among them was defeated in one blow. Almost everyone was in shock. React! Jin Ho shouted and stood in front of Choi Jong-in. With his shield he received the attack that was for the redhead. The shield shattered and he was sent flying by the monster's force. Thanks to the shout, everyone reacted and attacked. Song Yi lunged at the ant and attacked with her katana. She was making many attacks, but none of them pierced the exoskeleton of her enemy. What? A crack appeared on the katana her master had given her, and seconds later it snapped. Master. The ant pierced Song Yi's abdomen with its claws and tossed Song Yi to the side, and Song Yi was bleeding to death. The interference was cut off and the flame network too, Choi Jong-in warned. Soon the ants would return to the nest. Min Byung-gyu healed Song Yi, but she didn't open her eyes. She was out of action. Ma Dong-guk attacked the ant, but his arms were ripped off like it was nothing. Fully transformed and at full strength, Beck lasted no more than a few seconds against the ant. Taking advantage of the distraction, Lim Tae shot a magic arrow with his bow, but the ant couldn't dodge it. What? The ant had caught him and attacked Lim Tae. Ah! The ant fixed its sights on Park Hee and lunged at her, but Jin Ho and Ma Dong-guk stopped its attack. As long as Min Byung is here, no matter how many times you rip my arms off, I won't die. Ma Dong-guk pushed the ant back with Jin Ho's help. The ant used its senses to search for Min Byung. The hunter was using his camouflage ability and was still able to locate him. Beck. Run, Min Byung requested as his chest was pierced. Please. Min Byung's head was eaten by the ant. It was a real monster. Byung. Beck yelled and charged at the enemy in a rage. He couldn't do anything and was grabbed by the neck. Where is the king? By eating Byung's head, the ant gained the ability to speak. You are weak. He felt a rather large energy outside the burrow. There is someone strong outside. He let go of the hunter beck and flew away at high speed. The remaining ants began to enter the burrow and were cornered. The only thing keeping them alive was Choi Jong and Park Hee's flames. When all seemed lost, a shadow soldier stepped out from the unconscious Cha Hae. Exchange. Rimuru was watching the raid on the TV broadcast. Everything was going well, but his nerves got the best of him when the ant pierced Song Yi. What's going on? The transmission was cut, and he didn't know what was happening on the island. Why can't I see anything? Less than master, you must calm down. Everything will be fine. Greater than Seal tried to reassure him. How do you expect me to calm down if my students are about to die? The broadcast was resumed with a new hunter on the scene, Sung Jin-woo. Hunter Min Byung-gyu was killed after healing Hunter Han Song-yi, the reporter announced. The good news is that the hunter Sung Jin-woo appeared on the scene to help. The dark-haired man made his shadows appear and ordered them to kill the ants. With the presence of Sung Jin-woo Rimuru, he could rest easy. He had enough strength to defeat the ant. What the hell? Rimuru yelled, a huge amount of energy suddenly appearing in Korea. Without thinking, he ran to where the energy came from and was visibly surprised when he saw what it was. A giant portal had appeared in the middle of a road. Greater than Seal. What range is this portal at? Less than measuring its energy, it is within S rank. Greater than an S rank dungeon right now. Can't this be worse? Less than. All of the Korean S rank hunters except for him and the association president were on Jeju Island. He thought for a few minutes about what he should do, at which time Go Gun-hee and some TV stations arrived. President Go Gun-hee, I am going to enter the portal. That would be suicide. It's best to wait for the hunters to return. Now that Sung Jin-woo is there, the raid will be successful. He tried to convince Rimuru. They won't make it in time. The monsters from this portal will start to come out in 3 hours. Rimuru answered and made the Tempest sword appear in his hand. You must evacuate the city. I'm not sure if I'll be able to clean this dungeon. The evacuation started a few minutes ago. Go Gun-hee answered and extended her hand to Rimuru. You must come back alive. If I don't make it, I want you to take care of Song-yi for me. He shook Go Gun-hee's hand and then looked at the portal. It's time to do it. Rimuru entered the portal and it turned red. It was the first time that an S-rank dungeon was a red portal, and that meant no one could enter to help Rimuru. Jeju Island. Kanae Tawada couldn't contact any of the other teams. That wasn't normal. Thinking that something might have gone wrong, she broke formation and looked for her teammates. As she ran, and she felt a slight breeze on her neck. Thanks to her ability being activated, she managed to dodge a surprise attack from the ant that killed Byung. To one side of the ant was Goto Ryuji's head on the ground. She was not surprised and avoided another attack from the monster. You're not a simple ant, Kanae said, feeling chills all over her body. You are dangerous. She knew that she would not be able to defeat that monster in front of her. The only thing she could do was to escape. But the ant would not leave it so easy. He kept attacking the hunter at high speed but was unable to land any hits. Kanae knew that just one hit would be enough to knock her out. She had to be focused to the fullest. Kanae continued to dodge as best as she could, but her skill was not eternal. One of the blows nearly hit her and she blocked it with one of her katanas. Just one hit. The katana with which she had used to block the attack snapped in half. Luckily for her, Sung's arrival caught the attention of the monster that returned to the nest. Just in time, she leaned against a tree to rest. The 5 minutes of her ability had ended. Kanae was picked up by a helicopter just like Hoshino. They were the only participants from Japan who survived. Inside the nest, Sung Jin-woo handed them some healing potions that he bought from the system store, with which they all recovered from their injuries. Song-yi was unconscious, as was Cha Hae-in, but the blonde girl was dying, so Sung hurriedly eliminated the ants. When the strongest of all arrived, he faced it alone. His strength was far superior to that of the ant, so he shouldn't worry too much. He proved that he was the strongest of the hunters in Korea by giving an incredible beating to the monster that destroyed his companions. He had wasted a lot of time with the ant and the hunter Cha Hae and wouldn't last until she got to Korea. So he forced the cameraman to turn off the camera and decided to use his power on Min Byung-gyu. Thanks to the healing powers of Min Byung-gyu, he managed to restore the health of Cha Hae-in, who was still unconscious. After entering the portal closed, and he knew what that meant, a red portal. He wouldn't be able to get out until he killed the boss, but this dungeon didn't have a boss. Ciel didn't answer his questions, and their Rimuru realized that the portal was Ciel's work. A clock appeared in the dark sky and he sighed. Was she supposed to endure that amount of time fighting? I won't be able to finish this, he said, looking around. Orcs, goblins, wolves, snakes, demons, spiders, giants, dragons, etc. All kinds of monsters surrounded him in that wasteland. Their ranks went from E to S+. The most powerful were the dragons and some demons that reached the S level. Rimuru needed all his strength and skills to relentlessly fight the seemingly endless monsters. Korea. Hunters and citizens did not have time to celebrate the recovery of Jeju Island, as this time an S-rank portal was in the country's capital. All S-rank hunters who could fight were called to the portal that Rimuru had entered. They made a formation around the place in case monsters started coming out of the dungeon. Those of lower rank were added as the ships returned from the shores of Jeju Island. Sung Jin-woo, along with Beru, the strongest ant he had turned into a shadow, made sure to eliminate the remaining ants, and then the dark-haired man joined the guard outside the portal in Seoul, the capital of Korea. The most relevant hunters were Sung Jin-woo, Yu Jin-ho, Park Hee-jin, Choi Jong-in, Ma Dong-guk, Lim Tae-gyu, Baek Yoon-ho, Go Gun-hee, and Kanae Tawada, who decided to go help Korea instead of going back to Japan. Cha Hae-in and Han Song-yi were still unconscious in the hospital. The blonde girl would soon woke up with no serious injuries, but Song-yi was in a coma. I can't believe he entered an S-rank portal alone, Kanae muttered as she sharpened the only katana she had left. He's strong, Go Gun-hee said. I appreciate your help, Miss Tawada. If the country of the guild I'm going to join is destroyed, I won't be able to move anymore. I don't do this just to be a good person, Kanae replied. And I know firsthand that Rimuru is strong, but I'm not sure that anyone in the world can clear an S-rank dungeon by himself. A national level hunter might have a few chances, but it still wouldn't be safe to make it. Choi Jong-in joined the conversation. That means if he succeeds, his strength is at least national level. Kanae finished what Beck was going to say and everyone fell silent. Inside the portal, Rimuru had already exceeded his limits a long time ago. His body wasn't going to resist for too long. A little more, he whispered, trying not to close his eyes. I'm gonna make it. There were only 5 enemies left. He couldn't distinguish them well due to the extreme tiredness he felt. His eyes were barely open. He swung the Tempest sword at the monsters. He didn't dodge anymore. He just attacked without stopping. He needed to finish as fast as possible or he wouldn't make it. The clock in the sky stopped with 10 seconds left. Greater than you got it, master. Less than Ciel said and opened the portal. Greater than you can go out. Less than. Outside the gate. How long has it been since he entered? 2 days, that means he's been in there for a month and a half. If he is still alive. While some chatted, the portal changed to its usual color. The portal opens. Ma Dong-guk warned. Everyone get ready, Go Gun-hee ordered. Everyone was attentive to the slightest movement. Any monster could come out of there. But to their luck, the one who came out was Rimuru Tempest and the portal closed behind him. He had made it. He cleared an S-rank dungeon by himself. Nobody said a word. The shock was present in everyone. Rimuru's bare torso had lots of wounds and scars. Many wondered how he could be alive in that state. Despite feeling hellish pain throughout his body, he managed to raise the hand that held the sword. He was declaring victory. The applause and shouts did not wait. The whole place was filled with noise. Kanae walked over to Rimuru and caught him before he limply fell to the ground. Go up. Sung Jin-woo made Kaisel appear and together with Kanae took Rimuru to the nearest hospital, as well as giving him healing potions that helped a little. The world was going to be in chaos for a while, in Song-yi's dream. Song-yi dreamed that she was on a green hill, and in front of her was a dark-haired masked woman who was watching her. You must wake up, the girl told her and took off her mask. Her resemblance to Rimuru surprised Song-yi. He will be sad if you don't come back, so I will lend you my strength. May I know your name? Song-yi asked. My name was Shizu Izawa. She smiled and raised her hand in farewell. Song Yi blinked and she was no longer on that hill with the dark-haired girl, she was in a hospital room. Beside her, was the katana that Beru had broken was as good as new. A grand funeral was held for all the hunters who died in the raid, which numbered around 50. The most important death, so to speak, was that of S-rank healer Min Byung-gyu. People praised Sung Jin-woo for his great fight as he practically single-handedly cleared the dungeon. But there was a small number who criticized him, especially for not having gone from the beginning and thus avoiding deaths. After the funeral, Sung Jin-woo was contacted and held a meeting with men from the American Federation of Hunters. He was offered to increase his strength in exchange for being a United States hunter. It was a great deal even if it only increased by 30% strength, since a hunter can't increase his power beyond his range. Less than it's a lower version of Rimuru's power, greater than Sung Jin-woo thought. He was introduced to Norma Selner, the person capable of making hunters exceed their limits. He would receive a raise as a gift. The Americans believed that once he saw the results he would sign without thinking. But when Norma Selner looked into it, she was horrified. Sung Jin-woo was pure darkness, and he had no limits. Korea, Seoul. In the ward of the best hospital in Korea, Rimuru Tempest was slowly recovering from his injuries. Ever since he came out of the dungeon he had been sleeping without interruption, until now. He opened his eyes and the first thing he saw was Song Yi sleeping on a chair next to his bed. He was so calm that he decided not to disturb her. Greater than seal. How long was I gone? Less than about a week. You will need another 2 to fully recover. Greater than. I see. Did something important happen in my absence? Less than. Not much, just a red portal that Sung Jin-woo took care of. Greater than. Sung Jin-woo. I still have to invite him to the guild. Right. The guild was created? Less than. Greater than yes. Park Hee-jin and Yoo Jin-ho were in charge of presenting the papers. It only remains to put the name and decide who will be the guild master and vice master. Less than. I will try to convince Sung Jin-woo to be the master. I already assigned the position of vice master to Song Yi. Greater than. By the way, master, this girl was here from the moment she recovered from her injuries on Jeju Island. Less than. I'm like a father to her. She must have been very sad because of me. Greater than. He brushed the hair away from Song Yi's face. Less than. Thank you. Greater than. The hours passed and the sun began to peek over the horizon. As soon as Song Yi woke up and saw her master awake, she hugged him and started crying. She was afraid that the only person who believed in her and helped her would not open his eyes again. It took Rimuru a long while to calm the girl down to have a good chat with her. Anything else I should know? The association plans to hold a commemoration for you for taking care of the S-rank portal? I have no interest in that, Rimuru replied, looking out the window. Can you call Jin-ho to come to get us? I want to go to the guild office. Yes, I'm going to ask for discharge. A few minutes later Rimuru walked out of the hospital and felt the pleasant breeze of the morning wind. The silence was interrupted by Kanae, who arrived in her Koenigsegg Gemera. She called too much attention. Good morning, she greeted and made the car door swing up. Come in. I thought Jin-ho would come, Rimuru said, sitting in the passenger seat and Song Yi in the back seat. I was in the office when Song Yi called and I decided to come to pick you up. She started the car and started to speed up. How are you feeling? I'm fine. I just need some time to recover. That's good. When will we start clearing dungeons as a guild? I still need to confirm who will be the guild master and what name we will have. I thought you would be the guild master. I agreed to join for you and I don't intend to take orders from another person, Kanae said. Okay. Anyway, I would have the same level of command as the master. Between talks they arrived at the guild building. It was 3 stories high and it wasn't very big since there would be few people working there. Rimuru. Park Hee-jin received Rimuru with a warm hug. I'm glad you're fine. I'm glad to see you well too. Let's go inside. Jin-ho and Sung are waiting. Park Hee led him to the office on the 2nd floor. There were Jin-ho, Sung Jin-woo, and Sung Jin-woo's younger sister, Sung Jin-ah. Good morning everyone, Rimuru greeted. I'm glad to see you well after the raid. The reason why we are here alive is thanks to brother Sung, Jin-ho said, pointing to his friend. and he wants to join the guild. Perfect. Now that we are all together, we can discuss how we are going to manage ourselves. Sung Jin Woo wanted to join the guild but operate on his own, clear dungeons by himself, and have no restrictions. Rimuru didn't care because he knew that was Sung Jin Woo wanted and needed to keep growing, so as he planned, he offered him the position of the guild master. Do you want me to be the guild master? That's right, but we'll both have the same authority. This way you can do what you want without anyone bothering you, and I can work without attracting attention. Kanae pretended to cough so Rimuru wouldn't forget what they talked about on the way. By the way, Kanae will only be under my command, so she won't follow your orders, clarified by Rimuru. Sung Jin Woo didn't think much about it, he served both of them and he didn't need Kanae at all. There was no reason to refuse. Sounds like a good deal to me, I'll be the guild master, Sung agreed. Now only the name is missing, Song Yi said. How about solo play? Sung proposed. Let's take some time to decide on the name, Rimuru suggested, and everyone agreed. Definitely that would not be the name of the guild.